start by saying I had a wonderful weekend or the best weekend. So maybe we start off with that.
Sure. So, so I've been planning to do this meetup thing for a while now. It's based on one of the popular reality TV shows from Britain. It is known as Taskmaster. So the show basically has a format of people, competing with each other in each season. It is like individual tasks or team tasks. So, inspired from that show, we started planning things around it, and we finally were able to do it on Saturday last weekend, and it was amazing. It was like almost like a 2-hour program. We had a bunch of different tasks, different teams. It was a social gathering, and so that was the first thing that we were able to do, like a month long planning. A lot of money went into it. We almost broke even. We did not make any profit or anything. But
Hold
it
on. So this
was
was a real social event, like get
real
together.
life social event in a park in Porto. Yes.
Okay.
And it was awesome. That's what I can say. And we hope to do it soon again. But a lot of planning goes into it. So a lot
Why
of
was it?
time, energy.
Why
Yeah.
was it awesome? I'm gonna put it here. Like, why is it? Like, I'm probably gonna put it as a either a great experience or an inspiration in life.
Mainly because we are all fans of the show, and to see it in real life, the tasks that were inspired from the show, to do it in real life, and for the people who are participating, for them to enjoy it, so to be in that moment, it was like quite exciting to go through different tasks. You would have to see the show to realize how crazy the tasks can be. It's not like a simple rules and you just do it. It's like there are many hidden rules. You have to figure out how to do the task. There is a time limit, and the teams are competing with each other. So it's like a comedy reality TV show based on how much you can outwit the taskmaster. Let's just say.
Yeah, I actually have seen actually this Taskmaster a couple of times. My wife didn't like it at all, but watched a few. I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I love that show. And what's interesting is like they have all of the seasons and episodes freely available on YouTube, so anyone can watch it basically.
it's- well, this weekend, I'll just to chime into this topic, my there was an anime event kind of or a comic
Yeah,
kind of event in
in,
this.
in Lisbon. Yeah.
Yes, and my wife and 4 kids. I mean, I would have come with my wife along, but another one of our neighbor girls who's now friends with Avi, she was also going with her mother, but then they said like, well, if you're going, then I'm going. They joined up, so there was no space in the car. Um,
Mhm.
so while I was actually binge watching this weekend, they went to this Lisbon event, and I asked my both my kids like, what was that? How was that day for you, right? Because they were part of one event where
Mhm.
people dress up, anime, cosplay, and my daughter said 8.7 because she still wanted to do certain stuff and she wasn't able to do it. So they stayed only for one day. While it's a weekend, you can stay for 2 days. My son said like, no, it's a 9 point whatever. He was like, great. So I think this chimes into the thing like if you're doing something energetic, a great event with people who are enjoying the same thing, right?
Yeah,
That's where it's like it gives you great inspiration in life to be able to join it. Um,
exactly. And that also reminds me. So next month, my birthday is coming up, and one of my friends' birthday is also around that time. So we are planning like a combined birthday celebration, and it's going to be a costume party, and the theme is like fantasy movies and TV shows. So we have our own thing going.
okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Right. Let me know the date. I'll see if my schedule opens
Of
up. And
course.
oh man, dress up. Gosh. Okay. Interesting. All right.
So so yeah, Taskmaster was one thing. There are two other things that happen. I've been hearing a lot about Eurovision, but I've never seen that. So the same day, Saturday evening, was the Eurovision finals. A bunch of friends got together, installed the projector. A friend invited me over. We had one of the best times. Like I have never been a part of something like this, watching a live event of song competitions or with friends. It was like a lot of screaming, cheering, singing, dancing, drinking.
Oh. Oh
So
wow.
that was another thing that happened last weekend, and I would say Finland deserved to win. That's all I'm
Uh,
gonna say.
okay. Um. Even coming together around big events. I would say big events like big live events, watching, enjoying it together. Well, what I would like, I mean, so Eurovision Song Festival. I mean, Andre, have you heard of that? I think you have. I mean, Ukraine has won that a few times. Eurovision Song Festival.
Yeah, but I'm not really very interested
No,
about that.
no.
No. I interested about that only because to get my apartment full
Yeah,
and to
I
make
know.
transfers, and so that's why last football I opened second hostel and I make $12,000 in few days. That's what amazing football. But I even don't see that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like I'm like owner of cafe who is waiting for a celebration of any holidays because he wants to make profit. I see on these things like that before. Now I don't have any option to manage, and the country don't have also.
so while coming back to this Eurovision Song Festival, I remember very well that it was always a night when I would watch it with my family, and even I think even here we sometimes watch it when it happens with the kids. It's for us, it's a more of a family thing. However, Netherlands got disqualified this time, so I didn't watch it. I was like, "What the fuck?" Never mind. Like I don't know, that took out the whole even thought of me. I'm reading Dutch papers and it was everywhere. Like, oh, something's going on. I'm like, oh fuck, man. Kind of a scandal thing. I mean, I'm not saying who's wrong, who's not. I'm not saying that at all. But it took out the joy. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just took out the joy. I went to bed. I was like, no, 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 no. But yeah, Eurovision Song Festival is a kind of, but it became crazier and crazier over the years.
I was never expecting to see the things that I saw. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
no, it really became crazier and crazier, and I can honestly say that in some years I definitely agree with the choice, but in some years I'm like, huh, what? Like
The
how?
same, the same, the same happened this year as well.
Yeah, so this also this year maybe it was I'm not sure. Again, I read that was a non-binary person or something. One,
Yeah, yeah.
honestly I don't even know what the non-binary means, but I was like, okay, that's a special case again, right? Because I think if I remember correctly, once there was Israel who won with a transgender or something, so
Yeah, yeah.
this is also that kind, or Ukraine won because of the war. Like like in this song festival, it's not always the best that win.
Yeah, there are real life influences. It's not just about the song. It's about the country, about the individual. There are a lot of factors I think goes into
I
making
must say that if I remember back like 20 years ago, or even more, or 30 years ago, or even 35 years ago, when I was still young, I thought it was more. I personally thought that the songs were more connected with the countries.
it.
Now it's like whatever country has a good show. Either it's a good song in English, because I think many of them switched somehow.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, it's kind of a. Well, it's definitely a festival that has a lot of yeah, people following it. All right. So, what was the other thing that made your weekend really good?
So yeah, we finished with the Eurovision song contest, and then we saw previous years' performances, the ones that I had not seen. People were recommending, "Oh, this is a good song. That is a good song." Then we went to sleep around 1 a.m. in the morning. We had to wake up 4 a.m. the very next day in like 3 hours. 5 we were supposed to drive, and we did drive north of Portugal to Faf, and I was finally able to see, which was like a decade-long dream of mine, to see the World Rally Championship.
Oh,
And it was just absolute fun to see the cars, the sound, the people. It was just a different experience
oh,
I've in my life. Since
okay.
2015, I've been dreaming of watching rally someday in real life. Last year, when I came to Portugal in February, I was like, yes, in May, I'll finally be able to see it. But then I had to go back to India in March. I was like, okay, next year, let's see. And finally, we did it. We got there on time, before time, actually, hiked through the mountains to find the perfect spot. A lot of hiking, a lot of exhaustion, but finally we were able to see really good stuff.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. That's cool. Uh, I didn't see you post any videos of it yet, so
It is on Instagram.
okay. But that also deserves to. Okay, okay. Then it's on the.
It is going on LinkedIn
Yeah.
as well. So yeah.
Actually, all of these things, like hey, it would be great if you on LinkedIn would do a post about how life is coming together for you. Yeah, yeah. Uh, but
All
yeah.
of this, yeah, all of this happened just because I was able to socialize. I made friends. It is all rooted in that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you built a social life way faster than many of us would do.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right. So that was a very like wow, an amazing weekend, if I can say that. Um, and the fact that it all coincided into one weekend. Well done.
Yeah. One weekend of just absolute fun.
All right. So yeah, I want to make some jokes, but I'll not make it.
I know where the joke is going.
Like okay. Um, okay. How about anyone other weekend stories or week stories? Anything remarkable or challenging?
Nothing new, as I can say. Just a usual
I think,
weekend.
I'll
you
share it.
know,
Then I'll actually go ahead. So I knew I was gonna be alone this weekend, right? And since I've been so much at home the past months, right? Like for me, it's almost a year that I've been home with my family, and that hasn't happened for years that I should stay so long at home. Um, so I was thinking through it, like, oh, they're going. Too bad. I wanted to go with them, but my knee was still kind of in a recovery mode, and I had my training session, and so I was like, okay, that's so far. I mean, that's fine, right? So in anticipation of that, on the Friday, I was like, will I miss them? Will I like what will I feel today? Like because they would be gone all morning till the night, right? And then I just had me time. I I did my stuff in the morning. I went for a bike ride, and I did my session, and then I was I cooked for myself for lunch, but that also cooked so much it also became part of dinner. But then I just turned on Netflix, one of the shows series that I didn't see yet, and I binge watched. And like it was just a very simple, like choice for me, and I didn't have any sense of like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Just stayed at home. Uh, and before the time was, I mean, before I knew the day was gone. So on one side, I think like, okay, binge watching can be nice, but if you do it all the time, I think it's like gaming, right? Like, or it's like any kind of other addiction. But to do once in a while, it feels actually nice. I could see, I watched this kind of modern Chinese uh, mafia kind of series, Brother's Son or something like that. Yeah, Brother's Son, I think. And uh, yeah, I while I was watching it, I was remembering the days uh, uh, when I was young. It was vacation time. We would go out and rent videotapes, right? Rent videotapes. I don't know. Do you have that? Do you guys have that memory in the time of VHS videotape where you were like, oh, there's a period you don't have anything to do, so you come home with a whole stack of them? Yeah,
We were in the phase of CDs and DVDs, but not
yeah, yeah,
VHS.
yeah,
We
yeah.
had that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Andre not. He remembers the VHS, I think.
No, I remember even it was possible in 2000s, and it was possible that you can we have a, because in Ukraine business are very tricky. So you can change tapes. You need to give guarantee money, for example, like a $10, yeah, and for $1 or even half of dollar you can change tape. And I on that time I have enough money, so I changed. It was many years ago, like 30 years ago. Yeah, I think 30.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I
VHS is long
remember these
time.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Even I remember my for me the best movie on the time it was One Upon a Time in America. Have you seen this?
Yes.
4 hours and it's long bandits saga, but very it's about Jewish mafia in New York. But I remember that time because of that movie. It really make me crazy. I saw maybe 50 times that movie.
So honestly, I think it actually comes here. Oh, here it is. Binge watching. So I would say as long as it's uh a short period of time, right? I wouldn't say that it's a enjoyment in life when you get addicted to it. Like I also remember, and I think even my mother or something, like we had those episodes of where nothing was but people would watch it all the time, right? But again, I think that's addiction. Uh, addiction, I think somewhere is actually a troublesome life or something. But yeah,
So,
so
and about the thing
simplicity,
was, yeah.
simplicity in life. Um, and I personally am more coming to that. Like it's these waves. Of course, life is in waves, right? Ups and downs, ups and downs. We travel, we stop traveling, and I'm going through my head like, will there be a time that I actually really want to travel again? So during COVID, all my body was saying I want to go somewhere, right? And then I went somewhere, and now my body's telling me I actually want to stay home. But I'm trying to think like, how can you hold this mindset? Uh, like because for me it actually comes out to this, like there are some worries I have, some financial, some paying back debts and so on, but I play those things in my head like, huh, those are the patterns in life. You know what they are. Can you somehow now stay in a, in a certain mode where you can avoid that? Like, um, I mean, Andre knows me longer, and Andre has seen me through many periods in life. With less money, with a lot of money. He knows, right? So now I'm at a place where, combined also with the thoughts of how the world is, of course, has other issues, like, and more in my thoughts, I'm thinking, okay, can I now tap into that Buddhism side of me that actually agrees with, like, hey, if you want things, you also will get the suffering, right? So you want cool things, but you also, it's ups and downs. So you will also get the suffering side of it, right? So can I stay in a place where I don't want the things? Can I do that? And if I can do that, I will also save a lot more money, right? Like, period. Like, if I don't want a lot of things, and I keep focusing on my work and so on, and so that's a phase where I'm going through right now. Like, so I see my patterns. The question is, can I, like, let me see, can I, yeah, can I choose consciously to manage the side uh, of things that actually will put me back into such a pattern. So, um, let me see if uh, I would say here, um, patterns in life repeat. Uh, can you consciously um, change habits to alter or uh, those patterns? Does it make sense? I mean, I have experienced enough to see the patterns. Andre as well. Nirav, Robin, you both still, have many experiences to go, right? So, but even you, Robin, I think you're already, thinking through patterns, right? I mean, we discussed that, like this fleeing, right, running away pattern that you have, and many of us actually have that. It's the fight or flight kind of pattern, right? So it's not very strange thing. But yeah, so I've been more in my head, like, uh I mean, for me, I'm 46 this year, right? Yeah, 46. And yeah, I still have at least, I think, 20 working years ahead of me, like a productive years, I hope, if things go normal. I wouldn't even mind if it would be longer. I wouldn't. There was a time that would think, like, oh, I'm gonna be rich and I'm gonna stop working early. I'm not like, no, actually, personally, if I can keep productive and help people, that's what I tell myself, and work even 6 days a week, like on Saturdays, do trainings and so on. Actually, I mean, I think that would be even nice, when I get old, I could still give trainings or something like that, if I can, right? I don't know. AI was changing stuff anyway, so. But yeah, the patterns in life, can you see them? Can you alter them, or they will keep coming? Well, let's tap into that and go to Nirav. So Nirav, you went away for 2 months. So that was a peak somewhere, right? Like a whole experience. Now you're back.
Yeah.
How's that? Like, do you see, like, okay, uh, you know what your life at home is. You know what a life can be when you're out, in a new environment. Uh, Do you have
Yeah.
thoughts like I actually want to escape my home environment again, or do you think like no, it's actually okay to stay in my home environment?
No, the one thing I learned after going there that I really need to move on from my home. I don't want to stay here at my home right now. So because whenever I stay here, so this is my comfort zone, you can say. It's so I cannot be more productive in this home. I can do more work, but not more productive. I can do longer hours of work in my home, but not that efficient way. So at least I need some other area rather than this home. And last, I just remember that I really wanted to play one game. So a PC. So it was our habit. So the game called Elden Ring. So after coming back to here, so I just played yesterday that game. So it just felt
L
great.
what? L?
Elden Ring. So at a computer game.
Okay.
So I finally had a chance to play that video game. So I've been wanting to play that since 2 months. So in Kerala, it was very hard to balance my work and life. I really wanted to play there, but I couldn't. So after coming back to my here home, I just played
Hmm.
whole day. Yes, yesterday whole day I just played this and enjoyed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to do it in Kerala. So
Yeah, so you
maybe
took
I'll do.
time for yourself. You enjoyed it. All
Yeah.
right. So, okay. Actually, I think the key word of comfort zone, let me see. You mentioned the comfort zone, right? Here. Where is that? Hey, what? Whoa, where did it go? Um, come on. Uh,
So Robin, how was the experience? It was like same as we were used to play these games, Need for Speed and Dirt games. So similar kind of thing.
And multiplied by 1,000, let's just say. It was crazy.
so it
Oh
was
man.
racing or what?
Yeah, World Rally Championship car racing.
No,
Yeah,
but for you, but Nirav, like the game is.
that's
Oh, the Elden Ring I played yesterday, not racing, just a
Oh,
normal role-playing game. Yeah.
okay.
it's not a normal game. It's one of the hardest games to be ever built.
Yeah, even Elon Musk also said that.
You know, yesterday I saw a guy. I think he was a Spanish person, and he beat Elden Ring using Morse code with one button. People are doing crazy things with that game.
Okay.
Sorry, with what?
Morse code.
With just one
Oh,
button and using Morse code.
oh, man.
And Elon Musk said he couldn't do it, and he challenged the guy or something, and the guy, finished the challenge by beating the boss. Like it's a game where there are crazy bosses, and you have to battle through. And these bosses are like just next level. It's one of the hardest games, is what people say.
It's very hard. Even after 5 minutes of this game, I just died after within 5 minutes.
And you played the whole day.
Yeah.
Hmm. But you don't need
Because
to spend money. You don't need to spend money. It's not pay to win, pay to
no,
play.
no, no.
No.
No, it's not gacha games or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, simple enjoyments in life can be. I mean, do you think you will fall back into like you're gonna play it more often today, tomorrow, etc.? Or was it
I have that urge to play that game as
uh,
soon as I finish all the work. Tonight, maybe at night time.
yeah. Andre, in the time before you had, wife, kids, girlfriends, what would you do? Or would you go to drinking? Was that your enjoyment in the moment and addiction.
It was I have very social, very funny life. It was like a wave, like you told me. Yeah? But actually, I agree with you in 1,000% that you told me about this weekend. Yeah. I just would add little bit. It's two ways inside of bodies of our bodies, and we cannot find really choice. It's life. I think it's life give us this choice. So one way I can suffer. Oh, my kids, I my family, I'm alone. Blah blah blah. I'm so poor guy. And second way, I can enjoy my aloneness because before, man, two kids, my mother, two babysitters, three hostels, six apartments, everything running. I'm busy. I'm fine. I'm looking for 1 hour to be alone somewhere in cafe, you know. And now I am alone non-stop. Yeah, and I'm happy because I read my books. I have so in June I will receive another education, psychology education. I have already few high education. So what I do else? I don't know. I'm busy with my life. Really, I'm okay. I'm very okay. For many people, for many people when they look at me, they tell, okay, he's sick or he is very strange. Not sick, okay, but he is very strange. But you understand what I mean. And do you remember Valera, for example? Valera, he have now 5 apartments in Krishati. Even now he is a millionaire in US dollars or in euros. And fucking every time when Valera call me, something wrong with him. His wife not good, his kids not good, this not so. And when I talk with Valera, I'm thinking my life so good. I am so happy. you know, you remember Valera 25 years ago when he divorced with his wife, and he's still with new wife. He's unhappy. So it's all the secret inside us.
Yes.
That's why when you ask me how are you, I'm
Yes.
really good because I'm really happy. If you ask me 20 years ago, I was drunk, I was also happy, but it was not normal consciousness feeling. You understand what I mean? It's with chemical. It was with chemical addition, something like that. So that's why life is easy actually if we are lucky. I would say if we are lucky, if we have enough consciousness, enough understanding to do not do not give food for our suffering. Do you understand what I mean? Something like that. At least try to keep tranquil in mind in tranquil position in acceptance position, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I think I will add to this. It's part of, lessons learned, how to be happy with ourselves. And as I said, we elders, I mean, we're not super old, but compared with Nirav and Robin in life experience, we can say it afterwards, right? We can say it. We have had ups and downs, money plays a big role, love plays a big role, all these emotions. And but if you I don't think you can get to this place easily without, like, let's say this, you can read a Buddhist book and actually read it, right? You can even read the Bible. I guess there are phrases in there that says similar things, but it doesn't mean that we're I think life is about experiences, and that is what we are here for. That's what I think. And we won't just accept, a word written somewhere, even if that word is written by someone who's very wise, right? We're not just gonna listen to it and accept it, but eventually, I think it is where we will come. Um, so for me, it's actually an interesting also part of doing these sessions is to see how Robin and Nirav actually flow into their experiences, ups and downs. I mean, they still have a life ahead of them with, girlfriends, wife, kids. I mean, if all goes normal, I think they will. But we're already like in the part past it, right? I mean, we still have kids, but we can see through the happenings around it. So okay.
By the way, it's 20 years difference. It's a huge, big difference. Can you imagine 20 years? Even 10 years, it's big difference.
Oh yeah.
Because do you agree with me? So that's why it's like season. Yeah, for them, it's right season to do something. For us, it's okay to be with the family and do our job what you like. You are also lucky because you do job what you like and you make money for your family and to help somebody else, for example. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
also glad because I can help somebody else a little bit. Yeah, of course, little bit, but for them it's also okay. And if you're okay, I know you are okay inside yourself. So we would say you have win of life. That's my philosophy. Somebody asked me, "Hey man, what do you have? What do you have?" And which car do you have? I tell, oh, 20 years Mercedes. It costs like iPhone, same price. Ah, so you're loser, yeah. But my opinion, my opinion is different. But it's not our freedom. It's inside, you know. And
And
that's why no matter Buddhism or Bhagavad Gita or Bible, Holy Bible, all books, everybody says same. And you can see all this kind of guys like our ex-president Yanukovych, uh, who have golden breath, or it's European joke now, and so on. Yeah, but we'll see what's happened.
yeah, I do. It's interesting what you just said there, and I want to point. You said that when you look at and you say what you have, right? Uh, and um, I think achievements in life. I think in order to get to a calm place, I mean, experience is one, but if the experience is only bad, then I don't think you're gonna get to peace, right? But achievement in life, again, achievement can be, as Andre just said, it can be in different ways, but also one of them, of course, is this can be materialistic, you know, relationship wise, or, but it can also be in finding peace in life, right? It can. This is actually a huge one if you can find it, because it surely isn't this. And it's also not chasing after relationships all the time, right? But if you can find peace in life, it's a huge achievement that is, I think, is not available for all. Uh, so yeah, I find it, but again, it's hard to get here usually without going through a lot of this.
By the way, I have very good example. Look at Hai. I know Hai. He's my like brother also. Yeah, he's jumping all his life. Outside, it looks like he's hunting for materialistic, for social things. But truly, you know that Hai
Also relationships, right?
relationship. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, relationship. And of course, it was a very big, great experience. It's international experience because, but finally now he finds this peace in mind. And I think this is the best result of his hunting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm very glad about Hai that he also finds something. This is yoga teacher, so he's okay. I talk behind the words when I talk with him. I know he's okay. Finally, it was so many times he's looking for something. Guys, I'm very sorry. I need to escape from you because I have one woman who can only now work.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
wish you good luck and bye.
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 But yeah, to zoom in, if we're talking about waves, right? Like my waves are kind of this, you know. My brother's waves are like this, like those are his waves. And yeah, he found. I think the yoga thing is definitely, you know, is a great match for him. Although, uh, I think even there, going too hard into something new can also yield problems into something else. I think eventually it's about finding the balance. And But yeah, it's true. But the key word here, achievement, is one of them. Uh, yeah, is and I think you can try to escape these if you wish, if you can, to get here, but it's just a tougher one. It's I can totally see that if you think you didn't achieve here, that can't find peace. But actually, it is, but it's hard. Your mind, your ego will probably tell you like, oh, it's you didn't get anything. But if you can actually, there are ways, I think, to escape it. But yeah, okay.
I think we
Yeah.
have to develop a capacity to enjoy less number of materialistic. I
But
think we
even
cannot
less,
completely avoid. Yeah.
but even less relationships, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
meaning this. For instance, I'm giving an example. Yeah. And I think this is an example that maybe many more in the West are contemplating. Like, do I choose me time, travel the world, make many friends, have a lot of social time for me that I enjoy, or do I give into this need, this natural biological need to find a mate and have kids? Because that path there are many ups and downs in that path, but it's then at least you're gonna be lost a while when you go into that path, especially when you get into kids, because your life won't be yours. It's more about someone else, right? That will happen. It already happens when you think about love. It fucks up your brain. You're kind of, right? But if you are able to skip it and not chase and run so hard into it and keep a balance, then maybe you can more develop yourself, right? Like that's the whole point. Um, and maybe that's this point of example of my brother as well. I think my brother definitely went hard into finding this, and eventually, a divorce came, and financially it didn't go super or something, but it was all needed for him to get into this, and now I think he's finding a balance here, right? So it's not like you shouldn't have this. It's more like, how do you try to get these things in a balanced way so that you can find peace while you're doing it? Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, that peace is worth so much. But it gets disrupted very heavily when you get married, you get the in-laws, and kids. It gets disrupted very heavily. Again, you can of course find new peace in it, but it's a journey to get there. Especially nowadays, I personally think that it's just very tough to see all the rising, especially since the past 3-4 years, right? With the rising costs, like it's a bit crazy how the costs have risen, and yeah, and it's like before middle class was kind of relaxed. No, middle class is now becoming it's not a comfortable place even when you are middle class. So I think the world has become harder to go into the path of building a big family or something. But yeah, but
Yeah.
hey, it's our natural urge as well, right? To do so. Or pride, even when grandparents say like, "Oh, hey, when are you giving me grandchildren?" Correct. Um, yeah, that's very these cultural differences, right? Is a big thing to navigate. One of the things that my son actually also did before he went into the weekend, I told him like, "Hey, go and talk with the Indian restaurant owner who was our neighbor who started to move away because the rent was way too high." Um, or was becoming way too high, and they were like, "What the hell?" In 5 years, it went from 1,100 or something to 1,600, or it went from 900 to 1,600 a month. And but when my son came back, he's like, "I can only work during the summer. I cannot work while I'm studying because he thinks I should only study and focus on study." I'm like, "Oh yeah, there we go. This is a cultural thing." And he means it well, right? He was kind of like, based on what I heard, he had my son had a good talk with this gentleman, but he said, when you learn, your brain is very consumed, you're tired anyway. But he wouldn't even let him work, in the Friday evenings or the Saturday evenings, where I think that's a different view on life, where the Dutch clearly, or not just the Dutch, the Americans as well. You can work and study, right? You can live. It's both. But yeah, anyway. Okay. Um, I think we touched more than I thought we would during this session, but hopefully um, we'll have more of this. We'll hopefully see Nirav still have some new travels ahead. I'm quite sure we will. I think if we push this through, even Bangalore will be part of Nirav. So let's see where this goes. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, I'll see you all online. Thanks for joining, and live life.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.